I was reaching the end of my investigation. No idea if Catherine could even look me in the eye. I'd promised Tony Morgan I'd find his daughter, and I'd betrayed my own in the process. Perhaps I should have listened to Catherine and left the investigation to the police. Perhaps Tony Morgan didn't need my help. Perhaps I'd failed everyone. Only time would tell.
No.
And Shirley Downs held the key.
Okay.
Catherine, thank you for coming.
What do you want, Dad? I told you I didn't want to...
I promise I'm not wasting your time.
What do you want?
Please, come inside. I have something you'll want to see.
You'll forgive me if I don't believe you.
Then why did you come?
It's my job to follow up all leads.
Then, please, I'll show you what I've been working on these past few days.
These past few days you promised me you weren't investigating again. Please don't humiliate me, Dad.
Oh Mann. Oh, da warten schon alle gespannt. Ich bin so aufgeregt.
Here is the main event.
Die Haupt
Thank you all for coming. I imagine you share some notion of why I asked you here. In short, to discuss the disappearance of Charlotte May, and also to apologize to each and every one of you. I'm sure you know by now that I've been investigating every possible area of her disappearance, and that has meant looking closely at Dahlia View.
You mean spying on us?
A crude interpretation, but yes.
That's illegal. Surely.
I've broken no laws, I can assure you.
That we know of. This is an invasion of privacy. You're a police officer. How can you let him do this?
It's not illegal to ask questions, Mrs. McKee.
What about breaking and entering? How'd you feel about that? Hey?
Are you pressing charges, Mr. Levy?
We still need to address the fact that there's an attacker at
Let
large.
Mr. Conway speak. I'd rather like to see where this is going.
Well, with my apology out of the way, let's talk about what I've uncovered.
Okay, womit fangen wir an? Fangen wir mit den McKees an?
Annabelle and Theo. The two of you clearly have problems of your own to work through.
The very nerve of you, Mr. Conway.
And you should have reported that dog that you hit with the car. It would have saved a lot of time, and perhaps we would have found Charlotte May by now. But I have no reason at all to think you could have taken Charlotte May.
I could have told you that if you'd asked.
I have nothing more to say to the two of you.
Okay, Harold Levy.
Harold Levy. You don't like me very much. I can live with that. You said it yourself. As long as I pay my rent on time, we won't have a problem. In the future, it might do you well to extend that courtesy to neighbors going through certain hardships. Well, not every problem can be solved with your fists. I believe you owe Mr. Morgan an apology.
What's he talking about?
God knows.
Other than that, I found nothing to think you capable of such a terrible act as kidnapping a girl. I have nothing more for you.
Oh, that was a waste of time then.
Okay, Lady Durr.
Lady Dower, I thank you for permitting me to search your home. But on reflection, you really should pay more attention to whom you employ to clean your estate.
Hindsight is a blessing.
I don't think you had anything to do with Charlotte May's disappearance. It's a shame that your home was violated in such a way. Again, I extend my apologies that you've been dragged into this.
Water under the bridge, Mr. Conway.
Und die ist ja nett eigentlich.
And finally, we come to Shirley
Okay,
Downs,
Shirley.
the second victim of our unknown perpetrator. A completely innocent bystander the night that Charlotte May was taken. The perfect alibi. Were it not all based on lies and deception?
Well then.
What? No, you all saw what happened to me.
Shirley, please, let us dispense with the song and dance.
Shirley? What is he talking about?
I have no idea, Annabelle. I can assure you of that.
Okay.
Just what on earth are you getting at, Mr. Conway?
I bloody know it. You've always been a dark horse.
Shut up. I had nothing to do with Charlotte May's disappearance, I promise you.
Mr. Conway, I think you might have made a mistake.
Catherine, would you mind?
Please, I think it's time we talk to Miss Downs alone. Could we have the room?
I think I should stay. She's my sister and she needs
Mrs.
my...
McKee, please. Everyone, in fact. Leave now.
I think it's best you leave too, Mr. Morgan. Don't worry. I'll update you later on this evening once I know more.
Shirley,
I'll be fine, Annabelle. They're making a huge mistake. Just do as the police officer says.
I'm afraid that means you too, Mr. Levy.
No way. I would have missed this if you paid me.
Get out, you fool.
Boah, ey. Der ist so ein...
This what you wanted, was it?
How very disappointing. Good work, Mr. Conway.
Shirley, please take a seat.
Okay, wir werden sie jetzt verhören, ne? Da bin ich ja mega gespannt, was wir da jetzt rauskriegen.
Now, where should I begin?
Look, I don't know what this is about, but I think you made a huge mistake. I'm sorry. Catherine, is it? Can you talk some sense into him?
I think we should hear what he has to say.
This is ridiculous.
If you have nothing to hide, then surely you'd relish the chance to prove your innocence.
You watched me get attacked. That proves that the kidnapper is still out there.
Well, let's start there then, shall we?
Okay, Glassplitter, Foto oder Fernglas? Wollen wir gleich mit dem Glassplitter loslegen? Was für ein Foto meint er denn? Fernglas ist das Ding, mit dem er niedergeschlagen wurde, ne? Nehmen wir den Glassplitter erstmal. Das ist am
What's that
heftigsten.
supposed to be?
Why don't you tell me? It was found in your pub.
So what? Lots of people drink there every day. Glasses smash. I don't know what's special about a piece of glass.
It sounds plausible.
Well, there you have it.
Well, Mr. Crow didn't seem to think so. He told me you took it from the police evidence room.
Mhm.
Prove it.
I intend to. I'm sure Mr. Crow will be willing to testify. Let's move on.
Dann das Fernglas, was dazu passt.
How will you explain this, I wonder?
Perhaps you want to explain how you found that, without breaking the law.
Well, I'm sure it will come to that. But for now, we're talking about you. You have nothing to say?
Oh, sie schweigt.
There's no getting around this, Shirley.
You're not listening. It wasn't me.
Ich weiß nicht warum, aber ich glaube ihr das sogar irgendwie.
What do you have to say about this?
You've been watching me. Annabelle was right. This is an invasion of privacy.
Well, isn't that what you wanted?
What are you talking about?
Well, for someone to see your charade. The whole business with the so-called intruder. You set the whole thing up.
What a ridiculous thing to say. How could I have? Why would I?
You did it so that Tony Morgan would see you as the victim, and therefore not as his attacker. I saw you too. I'll admit, you were very convincing.
This is all in your mind, Mr. Conway. You have no evidence at all.
Well, we'll see. Let's continue, shall we?
Mhm.
Well, I suppose that's that. Catherine, is what you've heard enough to arrest Miss Downs?
I'm sorry, it's not conclusive enough, I'm afraid.
Well then, I suppose I was wrong.
Ja.
I should have gone with my gut and accused Annabelle.
What?
Again, I'm sorry I've
Ach,
wasted your time.
spielt.
Catherine, can you see if Annabelle is still close by?
Wait, Mr. Conway.
Er blufft.
What could you possibly think Annabelle has to do with this?
Well, I shouldn't discuss this with you, but all those late nights whilst Thea was gigging, no one able to verify her whereabouts. And then, of course, there's the matter of the... well, like I said, I shouldn't discuss this with you. I apologize, Miss Downs. Let's see if we have enough to arrest your sister.
Wait.
Ist echt fies.
What is it?
For God's sake. I hid the telescope in my safe, but I was hiding it for someone else.
The truth, Shirley, or this conversation is over.
Okay, I hit Mr. Morgan, but I swear I thought he was someone else.
I'll see what your sister has to say about
I'm
that.
telling you the truth. Annabelle had
Okay.
nothing to do with it.
Where is Charlotte May?
I didn't take her. That's why I hid the telescope in the first place, so the police wouldn't suspect that I took her.
That makes no sense
Sie hat
whatsoever.
den
I
Morgen
didn't take
erschlagen?
Charlotte May.
So let me
Warte
get this
mal.
straight. And it's very important that you're clear.
Warte mal. Boah, ich bin gerade... Wie jetzt?
The telescope is the attack weapon.
I took it from Lady Dowa's hallway. I saw my sister having an affair from Lord Dowa's window. I was angry. I overreacted.
Okay.
You took the shard of glass from the police evidence room.
Well, yes, because it proved that I hit Mr. Morgan. But I thought I was hitting Harold Levy.
Ah. Sie hat gedacht, dass es der Vermieter ist. Okay, aber dann gibt es doch gar keinen Entführer?
You faked the attack against you.
Yes. I needed people to know that the kidnapper is still out there. I couldn't come forward and say what I'd done because people would think I took Charlotte May.
Das macht Sinn. Es
You
ergibt
attacked
Sinn.
Tony Morgan.
I already told you. I thought I was hitting Harold Levy. He was kissing my sister, Annabelle. A married woman, Theo's wife.
I don't think even you can separate the truth from the lies anymore.
Nein, ich
I'm
glaube,
not
sie sagt die
lying, Mr.
Wahrheit.
Conway.
You took Charlotte May that night.
I did not.
Then you put her in Lady Dowa's basement. Why?
I'm not saying another word.
You knocked me from my chair and then staged the attack on yourself to throw me off the scent.
That's all in your head.
Where is Charlotte May? Is that enough to arrest Miss Downs?
I believe so, yes.
Hä?
Then I think I've heard just about all I need to. Catherine, may I have a word?
Boah, ey, ich habe echt riesen Fragezeichen über meinem Kopf.
Well, it looks like you were onto something after all.
Yes, it looks that way.
Let's wrap this up then, shall we?
Wait a moment. You see now what I was doing, what I had to do.
I do.
Well then, what's wrong? With a little more time, Shirley will tell us where Charlotte May is. You can arrest her. This is a good thing.
You lied to me. You betrayed my trust after you promised me. I'm so glad that you were right. I really am, but that doesn't change how you did it.
Catherine, we did it. You and I. I listened to what you said, and I truly am sorry. There were moments where I knew I was crossing a line, but I did it.
You've told me already.
And I meant it. Please. I'm going to update Mr. Morgan later on and tell him what we found. It would mean a lot to me if you were by my side. What do you say?
I don't think so, Dad.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Catherine, please.
Miss Downs, I'm arresting you on suspicion of the abduction of Charlotte May Morgan and an attempt to obstruct an active and ongoing police investigation. You don't have to speak.
Oh, das ist ja voll traurig. Aber wo ist das Kind? Das Wichtigste haben wir noch gar nicht herausgefunden. Fragezeichen, Fragezeichen, Fragezeichen?
Shirley has confessed to almost everything I've thrown at her. But she's refused to give me the location of Charlotte May. I hope to God she's still alive. It's out of my hands and up to Catherine now. I've reached the end of my investigation. But at what cost?
Noch immer vermisst, 6 Stunden später. Tja,
I promised Mr. Morgan I'd return this brooch when I found Charlotte May. The news of Shelley's arrest will have to do for now.
okay, also nehmen wir jetzt die Brosche und gehen zum
Now that
Vater,
all's
ne?
said and done, I suppose I should tidy all this away.
Okay, dann fahren wir jetzt zu diesem Morgentypen. Weil ich, wie gesagt... Oh, Blumen? So haben wir hier Blumen liegen.
I was hoping to return to Mr. Morgan with his
Ah.
daughter,
Okay.
not this hollow gesture.
Ja. Das ist traurig. Ich habe mir irgendwie ein bisschen so ein Happy End gewünscht, aber okay. Wir kommen nicht drum herum. Boah, wir waren so lange nicht mehr hier, ich weiß gar nicht.
I used to roam these halls and wonder what kind of neighbors lived around me.
Jetzt weiß
Now
das,
I know
ne?
all too well.
So. Das Ganze hat irgendwie so einen bitteren Nachgeschmack. Ich weiß nicht.
How will Mr. Morgan take the news, I wonder?
Glücklich wird er nicht drüber
Speak
sein,
true
ne?
enough.
Ja. Es tut mir auch echt leid. Aber ich weiß nicht warum. Ich habe die ganze Zeit im Gefühl, dass es Shirley nicht sein kann. Weil ich das Gefühl habe, dass sie wirklich die Wahrheit sagt. Aber wenn es keinen Angreifer gibt, dann gibt es keinen Entführer. Und das ergibt keinen Sinn. Aber wo ist das Kind? Das Kind ist ja definitiv weg.
No sign of Catherine, though.
Das ist so...
She's not coming.
Ich bin voll in einer Sackgasse. Naja. Hoffentlich wird das noch gelöst, sonst kann ich nachts nicht schlafen, ey. Weil mich das die ganze Zeit dann beschäftigt. Oder hat Shirley tatsächlich das Kind irgendwo einfach versteckt? Aber wofür? Das ist halt die große Frage.
Hello, Mr.
Wofür?
Conway.
Mr. Morgan, how are you?
As well as can be expected, I suppose. I have to say, I wasn't expecting you so soon.
I apologize. I thought you might want an update regarding Shirley Downs.
Of course, yes. Why don't you step inside for a moment and, well, please come in. You can leave your things down there if you like.
Thank you.
Please. You were saying?
Yes. In short, it went well.
She confessed.
Not to all of it, but I have reason to believe she's confessing right now in police custody. She confessed to hitting you over the head and to pretending she was attacked. We found the weapon and, well, the list goes on.
What about my daughter?
She refused to admit it. She was adamant.
But you said she confessed to hitting me.
Well, there's more to the story, I'm afraid. She swears blind that she thought she was hitting Harold Levy.
What? Okay, I don't know what that means.
I agree. It doesn't make any sense.
Where is my daughter, Mr. Conway?
Mr. Morgan, I won't stop until I find her.
I'm sorry. That was unfair of me.
I understand, and it's me who has to apologize. I told you I would find your daughter, and until now I've failed you in that matter.
I don't blame you. You've done all you can. I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Please, come and sit through here.
Okay. Ach, ist das traurig alles.
Perhaps you'd like a cup of tea, Mr. Conway.
It's one sugar, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Please, make yourself at home. I'll be back momentarily.
Woher weiß er das?
I will.
Woher weiß er das mit einem Stück Zucker? Das haben wir doch damals, glaube ich, bei Annabelle nur kurz erwähnt. Warte mal. What? What the? Was ist das hier?
How long have you lived in Dahlia View? Must have been before I moved here.
Yes, about 4 years or so. I remember the day you moved here. I should have introduced myself then. I'm sorry about that.
Not to worry. I should have done the same.
Okay.
Where is Charlotte May's mother, if I'm not intruding? Aren't you married?
That's a very long story, I'm afraid. What about yourself? Isn't there a Mrs. Conway?
Well, that's an even longer story. She would have said that I was married to my work.
Also hat sich seine Frau von ihm scheiden lassen? Oder was?
What exactly is your line of work?
I'm a dentist.
Ach, Zahnarzt.
Really? I imagine that pays a good wage.
Well, I'm a dental assistant, if I'm being honest with you, but I'm training to be an anaesthetist. So there's that.
Interesting.
Warum kommen mir komische Gedanken? Nein. Nein. Machen wir erstmal weiter.
Oh, that reminds me. I've brought the brooch back that I found at the crime scene.
Thank you so much. I hope it was of some use.
Kann ich das rausnehmen? Was?
What on earth?
Hä?
This isn't Charlotte May. It's a different girl altogether.
Warte mal, da stand was. Ne?
Wearing Charlotte May's brooch.
Was ist das? Charlotte Mays 6. Geburtstag? Das ist aber nicht Charlotte May.
Another girl.
Noch ein Mädchen.
Jesus, what is this? Mr.
Charlotte
Morgan,
Mays
what
6.
have you done?
Geburtstag. Ist er irgendein Psycho? Kann das sein? Ach, du Kacke.
I said I hope the brooch was of some use.
Yes.
Ach du meine Güte, es gab keinen Führer, der ist ein
I
Psycho.
wasn't able to connect it to anything.
Is everything okay, Mr. Conway?
Oh
You seem a
shit.
little out of
Was
sorts.
machen wir jetzt? Was machen wir
Yes,
jetzt?
I'm fine.
Wir müssen hier raus.
I don't think I'll have that tea after all. I'm sorry to put you out, but I remembered I have to hand over all of my findings to Catherine.
Oh no.
She'll
Oh
probably
no.
be waiting for me.
Er hat es verstanden. Oh nein.
She was 6 when that picture was taken.
Is that so?
Such an innocent age, wouldn't you say?
Oh nein. Oh nein.
Charlotte
Oh
wouldn't have
nein.
known what real danger was back then.
Können wir uns bewegen? Nein, wir können
Not
uns
like you
nicht
and
bewegen.
Well, we all have to grow up at some point, don't we? You'll excuse me, but I really must
Are
be.
you sure you're okay, Mr. Conway?
Oh.
I can't help but feel your discomfort. Is it something I've done?
Like I said, I'm probably keeping Catherine waiting, is all.
Oh. Er wird bestimmt gleich das Foto auf dem Boden sehen, dass wir das gesehen haben. Oh nein. Hau ab! Nimm deinen Rollstuhl und fahr, Junge! Er bewegt sich nicht. Ich drücke schon die ganze Zeit die Knöpfe.
I thought that I was careful enough.
Oh nein.
But the way you think...
Oh.
You really are very clever, Mr. Conway.
Oh nein, er wird uns gleich erschlagen, ich sag's euch.
To your detriment.
Oh nein. Und wir können nichts machen. Fahr bitte, fahr. Nein! Nein. Habe ich jetzt ein schlechtes Ending oder so bekommen? Hätte ich
It's
das...
funny. I spent the past few days wondering who on earth would attack me. I was as confused as everyone else. Turns out it was all just a misunderstanding. Have you ever heard anything so unlikely? I was going to leave town that night. I'd left her in Doe's basement.
Okay.
Things were almost in place. I was putting the rubbish out, and then... well... And then Shirley Downs.
She's still alive, isn't she?
I really am glad you decided to investigate. The mystery was eating me up inside. You know, I watched you work these past few days. Watched as you pulled our neighbours' lives apart piece by piece.
Getting to work with you at Shirley's pub and seeing you before that at Lady Doe's house. It was very
Uns die ganze
exciting.
Zeit gestalkt, ne? Okay. Schnell in den Rollstuhl, komm schon. Kommt er dran? Nein, er kommt nicht dran, ne?
It's funny, I felt that if I could just reach out. Of course, I couldn't.
From what I remember, you reached out with your fist.
Oh, der
You
ist
almost
fies.
caught me that night, you know, in Lady Doe's basement.
Ja, das war er. War ja klar.
You were so close, but still so far. You know, I've never had to go back and check before. But after you promised me you'd find her, I had to think on my feet. She cried when she saw me. I suppose she was seeing me for the first time in many ways.
She? You mean the girl that, some other poor child you've taken?
Boah, krass. Also hat er immer Kinder entführt? Haben sie sie getötet? Lebt sie noch? Fragen wir mal.
Is she still alive? The girl? Why did you do this?
Charlotte May was 6 when she... You see, after so many years, well, they stop looking like children, don't they?
Dear God. So she was too old to remind you of the real Charlotte May.
Ich kann
And
nichts
that's
machen,
why-
Leute.
This really isn't
Schon
your
die
first
ganze
time.
Zeit.
The first time I did this, my hands were shaking. I was a mess, Mr. Conway. I'd have been embarrassed just to be in your presence.
You sound as though she means nothing to you.
She means everything to me.
Have you lost your mind?
I think our little talk is over, Mr. Conway.
Oh no.
Believe
no,
me,
no,
I don't
no,
want
no.
to do this, but you leave me no choice.
Ich kann nichts machen. Ich kann
I don't think you will kill me. You didn't tie that little girl up for no reason. If you were simply a murderer, you wouldn't have left her alive down there. There has to be something more to you.
What makes you so sure?
I think you wanted to see her as Charlotte May. You wanted to believe it, right up until the end.
Well, you've got it all figured out, haven't you?
What happened to the real Charlotte May?
Ja, was ist mit... Die echte ist wahrscheinlich
You have
gestorben,
a
oder?
daughter, Mr. Conway. You know how it is. It's your responsibility. Your duty to protect them, no matter what.
Tony, what happened?
I must have left the balcony door
Oh
unlocked.
nein.
I took my eyes off her for just a second. We lived on the 5th floor.
Oh nein, die ist vom Balkon
Tony,
gefallen und gestorben, ne?
I'm so sorry. Perhaps we should talk about it. You can tell me about her. If you let me go, I'm sure
I don't think so, Mr. Conway.
Und
I've
dann fing er an,
complimented you
Kinder
on
zu
your intellectual
entführen.
prowess. Please don't insult mine.
Fine. Where is the girl now?
She's quite safe.
Oh, oh, der wird uns gleich abspritzen. Wo sind ihre Eltern? Wie heißt das Mädchen in Wirklichkeit?
Mr. Morgan, at least tell me,
Ich glaube, es
what's
ist
the
wichtig,
girl's
was
real
ich
name?
frage, ne?
Sophie Marling, if I recall.
Sophie Marling.
It was all over the papers, although I tried not to look. Funny. It made the front page for a week. 1 week, Mr. Conway. Then I think some football team won a game somewhere and the world moved on. Makes you think, doesn't it?
What would the real Charlotte May think of you?
You won't speak her name again.
Do you think she'd be proud of what you've done?
Please. Stop.
What about this girl? Everyone's looking for her. You can't get away with this.
Mr. Conway, you've already arrested Shirley. No one is going to find her. And no one is going to find you.
Oh,
Now, please stop. You're beginning to make me rather uncomfortable.
Jesus. You wouldn't want her to remember you this way.
None of that matters. Now, please, try to keep still.
Kann ich was machen? Nein, 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 tut das.
Please, don't do this. You're a reasonable man, Mr. Morgan. I know you don't want to do this.
Believe me, I've tried to change what I am, but I can't.
Oh. Zum Glück.
Mr. Morgan,
Oh, die
I
Tochter.
would very much like to speak with you.
God's sake.
Oh nein, er hat uns trotzdem abgestochen.
Like father, like daughter.
Oh nein.
Not a word, Mr.
Oh
Conway.
nein.
The anesthesia should kick in shortly.
Was machen wir jetzt? Müssen irgendwie schreien oder so.
Ah, hello, Mr. Morgan. I'm sorry to trouble you, but
Oh,
I
nein.
wondered if I might speak with you and my
Here,
father.
help.
Die Steuerung.
Are you expecting him?
I thought he might already be here. He said he was going to talk to you about Shirley Downs. May I come in and talk through our options?
Please don't hurt her.
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Ich versuche das alles hier
That's fine. I
anzuklicken die
yourself.
can
ganze
come back
Zeit.
tomorrow.
You know what? With
Mr.
everything
Morgan,
that's going on, I'm not... Yes. I think that would
Please,
be a good idea.
don't do anything to her.
Tomorrow morning. Lunchtime, perhaps.
Catherine,
Run.
We
run
can wait
away.
until then.
Renn.
I'm sorry to bother you so late.
Please, don't
Kann ich was
apologize.
machen?
We'll
hier.
talk tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Kann ich den Rollstuhl noch kriegen?
Wait,
What is it?
if you haven't seen my father, then why is his camera in the house?
Ja,
And
die
his bag?
Sachen. Unsere Sachen sind da. Sie hat es gesehen.
Mr. Morgan?
Okay. Wir schaffen das, wir schaffen das. Catherine, halte durch. Wir kommen. Unter Betäubungsmittel, aber wir kommen. Wir kriechen. Weh. Boah, ist das anstrengend! Meine Nerven! Komm schon. Halte durch. Wir müssen ihr helfen. Oh nein, habe ich es nicht geschafft? Oh no. Muss ich das jetzt nochmal machen? No, 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 no. Dieser schwarze Bildschirm macht mich sehr nervös. Also da ist unser Rollstuhl. Sind wir jetzt tot? Ach, Krankenwagen, okay. Sind wir trotzdem tot? Ah nein, okay, wir leben noch. Sehr gut. Also hat es funktioniert. Also sie haben es doch geschafft. Aber geht es der Tochter gut? Können wir jetzt in den Rollstuhl? Tony Morgans. Oh, falsch geschrieben. Festnahme. Achso, sind wir jetzt schon wieder da? Können wir jetzt mit den Leuten reden?
Do you know where Catherine is?
Okay, die ist da. Wo ist sie? Catherine! Da ist sie, aber es scheint ihr gut zu gehen.
Catherine!
Dad,
Oh,
are you okay?
I'm fine. Thank God you are. I thought the worst.
I did too.
no.
What happened here? I mean, what on earth did I walk into?
If I'm honest, I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Shirley was telling the truth.
Ja, also tatsächlich hat
appears
sie
so.
die Wahrheit gesagt, ne?
We searched the house. We'd ruled him out.
Is he...
No, he's alive. He's been taken to the station. We want to know if he's done this before.
I'm afraid you won't like the answer.
Oh my God. That could have been you.
It could have been either one of us.
Dad, listen,
No, Catherine, I'm sorry.
I am too. It's funny, I came back tonight because part of me knew I should have listened to you, but I just wanted to prove to myself that I didn't need any help.
The apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. I need to ask. Did you find Charlotte May? Is she...
Follow me.
Okay. Ist sie noch am Leben? Oh Mann.
Charlotte,
Oh.
this man is Robert Conway. He's been looking for you for days.
Are you okay, my dear? You're safe now.
Das
You don't
arme
need to be
Kind.
scared anymore. Catherine here is going to take good care of you.
Mm.
I'll just be a moment. I'll come back. Don't worry.
Boah, das arme Kind ist fürs Leben traumatisiert, ey. Aber vielleicht hat sie die Chance, wenigstens zu ihren echten Eltern zurückzukehren, ne?
She hasn't said a word since we found her.
Hm.
She thought that Tony Morgan was her
Ja,
real
die
father.
Arme, ey.
She didn't even know that...
It doesn't bear thinking about.
So, what do we do now? She doesn't have a home.
Oh, that reminds me. Her real name is Sophie
Oh,
Marley.
ich habe ihren Namen ja herausgefunden,
You can look
stimmt.
through the papers or make some
Wir können
calls
die
to that
Eltern
name
wirklich
over the past
finden.
few
Oh,
years.
gut, dass ich das
It's a great
nachgefragt
place to
habe.
start.
Ja.
I imagine you'll want to come along and help.
No.
Oh,
no.
ich freue mich so.
Perhaps it's best to leave this up to the professionals.
I'd like it if you were by my side.
Oh, und die zwei haben auch ihr Happy End.
I'd like that too.
Wir haben es geschafft, Leute. Das Rätsel ist gelöst. Das Kind ist gerettet. Wir haben sogar die Chance, ihre Eltern wiederzufinden. Und der Bösewicht kommt hinter Gittern. Ach, so mag ich Spiele. Mit einem schönen Happy End. Aber gegen Ende war ich echt total verwirrt. Ich habe echt gedacht, hä? Da passt es einfach nicht. Es passt nicht. Ich war so unzufrieden. Aber jetzt, doch, jetzt haben wir es geschafft. Das ist doch schön. Ja, ich finde im Großen und Ganzen war es ein ganz gutes Spiel. Hin und wieder, ich fand die Steuerung war nicht angenehm, aber ich finde, das war dann doch so, sagen wir mal, für den Spieler selber konnte man so ein bisschen auch dieses Handicap dann fühlen, auch dass er halt im Rollstuhl sitzt und so, dass das alles schwieriger und unhandlicher ist. Also ich fand die Idee schon cool. Also ist mal was anderes, ne? Und das Setting und alles, also hat so einen leicht düsteren Touch, ne? Also, ja, mir hat's gefallen, ne? Ich hoffe, es hat euch auch gefallen. Ich muss dazu sagen, es wird jetzt erstmal von den Videos her, habe ich ja gerade mehrere am Laufen, also praktisch auch mehrere Spiele. Das wird jetzt erst etwas weniger werden, weil ich in Umzug stecke. Am 18.06. ja, ist mein Umzugsdatum und danach, denke ich mal, werde ich wieder ein bisschen mehr Zeit haben, um auch Aufnahmen zu machen. Nur, dass ihr euch nicht wundert, wieso das auf einmal weniger wird. Es wird auf jeden Fall mehr werden danach. Aber jetzt erstmal, ja, fehlt mir einfach die Zeit. Ich bin halt auch berufstätig und alles. Also, ja, ist alles ein bisschen stressig mit Packen und so ein Zeugs und alles planen. Ja, aber danach kommen dann wieder neue Spiele. Wie immer könnt ihr auch gerne wieder Vorschläge bringen, wenn ihr auch in Richtung Krimi irgendwas Interessantes habt. Also in Richtung Storytelling oder sowas in der Art wie hier, jetzt auch mit Rätseln, könnt ihr mir das auch ganz gerne in die Kommentare schreiben. Ja, ich habe eine Liste, ne, mit Spielen und nach werden wir auf jeden Fall alles abarbeiten. Ne? Genau. Ja, und jetzt überlege ich gerade, kommt da gleich noch was oder kommt da nichts mehr am Ende? Oder ist das jetzt nur noch, ja, dieser Abspann? Weiß ich nicht. Weil ansonsten würde ich mich nämlich schon verabschieden. Ne, ich warte, falls noch was kommt, schneide ich das noch mit rein. Ne, dann könnt ihr das Ende auch noch mal sehen. Und ansonsten würde ich sagen, ich wünsche euch noch einen wunderschönen Tag und bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao.